everybody, it's Paul from movingtomexi.co. Paul and Betty, right Betty? Say hello. Today I wanted to share with you guys a video that I produced. This is a follow-up video of a behind the Mexican door that Joel and Daniela and I shot back in July of 2022. It was a house in Punta De Mita and it was under construction at the time. The owners recently reached out to us and said, hey, you guys should come back because it's like 99% done. You know, and I took it as an opportunity to go and actually do a little bit more of a production and do a sit-down interview and ask the owners about their experience with not only building a house in Mexico, but also with just moving to Mexico in general. And I thought that would be something that our viewers would really like. So without further ado, here's the video.
My name is Matthias and we're here in Punta De Mita in beautiful Nayarit, Mexico, together with my wife, Mabea. Our daughter, Angelina, is upstairs and our little dog, Dixie. We met each other in 2001. We actually met in Puerto Vallarta during a festival of Maria Felix. It was her birthday. At that time, she was still alive.
It was a festival of art in that time, and they passed all the movies. The first movie we watching when we meet there. Yeah. El Peñón de las Ánimas. Manuel.
I'm originally a master pastry chef. I was trained in Germany. This is where I'm originally from. So I'm a baker, pastry chef. Later on in my career, I developed a severe flour dust allergy. And so basically my allergy doctor, he told me, you have to get out of this, otherwise it becomes a chronic disease. I had interest in moving to Mexico simply because I always was thinking of finding something sunny for the winter months in Canada. So for many years I was going down to Florida, checking it out there. Bottom line for me was always the fact that once you get tired of the sun on the beach, everything else around in Florida was just like the way it is in Canada. The stores, the food and everything. And in Mexico, you have so many different other things. You have the culture, you have the food, you have the beautiful people here. Also, it was much cheaper. Prior to this, years before, I went to I wouldn't call it a seminar, but it was at the Holiday Inn. There was a conference where they encouraged people to move to Lake Chapala area. However, my first flight brought me down to Puerto Vallarta. I loved it instantly. From day one, I was in Mexico. I went to the real estate offices, checked out the real estate, and I thought, it's doable.
And never went to Chapala.
Yes.
Until now.
I had a real estate agent, and she showed me different properties. For some reason, I ended up in Punta De Mita. I met David
Cohen.
And he was kind of the middleman. He said, okay, I have different properties. I know they're for sale. There's one here, one there, one there. He showed me this one. I met the neighbor. She was from Guelph, Ontario, which was very close to where we're from. And she was just in the process of building the house next door. And so that's how we ended up getting a building lot in Punta De Mita. We decided we're gonna build it the Mexican way, which meant whenever I had a little bit money, we did a little bit something. You could have built this house within 8 months, key ready. It took us 20 plus years. And the original plan was, her father was also a general contractor, and the original idea was that he will be in charge building this house for us.
But fortunately passed away before.
Yeah.
So.
He passed away after the foundations were done. And so the next step we took was in 2013 when we built the outside wall and the first floor with the roof on it. Then in 2016, I believe, we put the second floor on. And it just got bigger and bigger. The original idea and the original design was a little bit smaller. And then I spoke to the architect and I said, in the future we can put a spiral staircase to get up and have a roof terrace. And she said, while we're at it, we might as well have the staircase going all the way up. And then of course there was this staircase tower going up on top. Then you didn't want to fall over the edge, so the walls were going up, so the house became bigger and bigger. I think the biggest challenge for us was when my father-in-law passed away, because we had someone we could trust. And that person now was not there anymore, so we had to rely on an architect. And sometimes in Mexico it is, if you're not there to supervise the whole thing, things might turn out a little bit differently than you had anticipated, because once you're there, you can put a stop to it right away. Sometimes it's it's my belief, I might be wrong, but it's my belief that sometimes Mexican workers might make a decision on your behalf that they think, just put the door over here, I'm sure they like it, when in fact you didn't have this anticipated.
And to find people to work in this area is hard.
Yeah.
Because more of the people, the workers living here, they working on the big companies. So some people from Bucerias or from Vallarta, they don't want to come here.
I just believe that the word mañana should not be in the Mexican or in the Spanish vocabulary, because it should be replaced by something like maybe tomorrow or maybe next week.
Less mañana.
For me, being German, and I liked punctuality, and if I hear mañana, it means mañana for me, which means tomorrow, and then sometimes that will change.
And mañana there will be,
but you know what?
Months.
This is something you get used to in the long term, because this is a way of life, right?
I say, okay, I know what it means mañana. Over and over, I say, no, mañana no, I want a day.
She's
Even
actually,
the people sometimes, like my husband say, I think you're not Mexican, because you know, like the mañana, like the people, I'm working by day and like.
She's actually the one who puts everything in writing. Whenever we find someone who does work for us, she puts it down in writing, make them sign. It's the days of a handshake, not for her. But I can tell you many positive things about Mexicans. One of them, for example, is whenever you need help, they will never say no. You can basically find someone on the street and say, I have a problem with my pump, do you know anything about it? Most likely he will know, because they have a pump at home too, and they will make an effort to try to fix it. If not, they have a friend or a cousin who does know. So that's always the positive things. People take their time, they leave whatever they were doing, come to your home and trying to help you. When you come in to the front gate, we have an area which is, you could park a car there. It's large enough for a mid-size to small car. We have a terrace where you could have a big umbrella. This is everything still in the planning. Like I mentioned that before, off camera, we are in the process of turning a house into a home. And there's, for example, a fountain which will go on that one wall. There will be patio furniture still missing, maybe a bistro set. All little touches. When we designed the windows, we had them all with the rough iron. So we had, in those 20 years, never experienced a break-in, because it is like Fort Knox. You can't come in. On the front entrance, we have you would call it a foyer, maybe. This is where we have a little seating arrangements. You can sit down, you can read some books, browse your messages.
Have a coffee.
Yeah, and there's an area, like I said, this needs to be still closed with the carpenter as we speak. He's working on those kind of things. We have living room directly going into the dining area. And we have over here the kitchen with the breakfast bar. And
we use more often.
Yeah. So this is basically a great place to be when you cook or behind the counter. you can overlook the entire area. You can be part of whatever's going on. And so, for example, Christmas, we had my wife's family here, and it was the first time they probably had a traditional turkey. They showed up with the tortillas and said, pack them away. That's not gonna be served today. Yeah, it's not gonna be served today, otherwise I'm gonna be angry. You can have it any time of the day, but not tonight. Beyond the kitchen, that is basically your utility room where you have the hot water heater, which is an on-demand hot water heater. In the future, we might have the solar-powered ones on the roof. It's also my artist studio in the making. What I will be doing here is a canvas which will be going in one of the washrooms I have. And then you have, of course, an access door going out to the area where you can hang up your laundry. And behind me in the dining area, there's a patio door going out, and you can sit out there. That's a nicely shaded area. A lot of people would maybe suggest to have a pool there. If we would like to have a pool, maybe it will be more like a jacuzzi, something you can hop in and cool down. But to be honest, the beach is a block away. It's a 3-minute walk from here. And the original design of the house was just a family home where we are able to lock them up, leave and come back without worry about who's maintaining the pool, who's, you know, things like this. Upstairs in the first floor, it would be again a landing where you can lounge on some chairs. Are gonna have more, maybe a small bookshelf, and then you have different doors going in the different bedrooms. So there's 3 of them in total. Perhaps you can blend in the original footage you took when you first came, when there was still an entrance door going into this center washroom, which was designed 1 washroom for 2 bedrooms. And while they were working on it, I said to my wife, it's just going to be nicer to have each bedroom with its own ensuite. And so what we did in the 1 bedroom, we moved the window 20 centimeters to the right to gain a little bit more room. And then we had the possibility to add a small washroom there. In our bedroom, it looks like you dropped a bomb because we're still missing the closet space. The final level is the observation platform, or the terrace, where we have the beautiful sunrise every morning. And as nature works, on the opposite side, we have this beautiful sunset every single night with the orange sky.
Over there.
Yes. So we can see the Sierra Mountains, Sierra Madre Mountains. We can gather a look through the sea between the buildings. When we first built this house, there was nothing in front of us, nothing. So they put up the condos now, but that's how it is. My advice for people who would like that, like to take that challenge or take that step to perhaps retire or semi-retire in Mexico, go for it. Don't listen to the media. Headlines, they always tell a different story than the article. Yes, crime is everywhere in the world, including Mexico. You can always be at the wrong time at the wrong place. But in general, ever since I came to Mexico, I had never had any issues, any problems. People are very nice, very helpful. And if you make a little effort of trying to speak in Spanish, even if it's just hola and adios, you will make a smile to that person. And yes, so if you are planning to build something in Mexico, my advice is, if you have no connections in Mexico, be it as a Mexican wife or family, I would rather advise you to take an existing building or buy yourself a beautiful condo. I know that Joel has several still available or coming up. there would be a smart way and a worry-free way to enjoy your time in Mexico, because you get a key to a finished place. And then of course you can always do your final touches, you personalize your place for yourself, because face it, it is quite challenging. The bureaucracy in Mexico is known. But I don't know if you want to do it. You know, you might as well just buy an existing building and modify it over the years, put new tiles in, maybe new floors, paint a different color, put up a palapa on the roof, or get into an apartment.
Enjoy the life.
And yeah, enjoy your life. It is much cheaper living in Mexico if you are living the Mexican way. So if you are used to Nutella and certain cold cuts, you need to go to the supermarket, which can add up. But if you live a normal life and you do your grocery shopping at the markets, and you, like overall, it is much cheaper. Like property tax, for example, I pay a year as much as I would pay a month in Canada. For example, we just went for a dentist appointment. We did the complete checkup and a cleaning. We paid 600 pesos. That's like, what is it, $31, right? If you don't have insurance in your home country, you pay way more for a service like this. And I mean, the people are trained well, and the overall experience was very positive. We go out, eat a lot. I mean, we cook at home. We don't go every day, but we like to go what they call the comida corrida, which is the meal of the day, the workers' menu. And you can get anywhere between 50 and 90 pesos, right? A complete meal, which consists of always rice, always a salad, always beans, unlimited tortillas, unlimited salsa, and a pitcher of juice. You can't go wrong. Of course, if you like to go fancy restaurants, we have them here too. You can go for steaks, you can go for lobster and seafood. The best seafood, I find, you go down to the beach restaurants, and that fish on your plate just came out of the water maybe an hour ago.
Or tortillas.
Yeah.
I miss the tortillas in Canada. But here you can go to the place and you can see how they made it, and you can buy it.
And even being in a small town like this, you think, okay, the supermarket is in the big supermarket is in the next village in Bucerias. Yeah, but you have those vendors going with their cars around. You can buy the vegetables off the back of a truck. My favorite, the baker, at 10:30 at night, he's out there, he opens the back door of his truck, and there is an assortment of donuts and sweets you can get at 10:30 at night. And I mean, I had the hairdresser come to my house here and cut my hair right here on that chair.
For 100 pesos.
So we do not have a car. We solely rely on public transportations. So when we go to Vallarta or to Bucerias, the bus comes every 5 to 10 minutes. And okay, it's not a luxury, right?
And when
but for the price we pay,
that's good. And sometimes we had a big shopping for 2-3 weeks. We take taxi, but we know that 3-4 people already, and they get a good deal price.
Or you can take an Uber. We have some Uber
Uber
drivers too.
Yeah.
I'm a German. I need to have my bread. We like to go chetraui because they have those buns. They're very similar to the ones we have in Germany, the crispy ones.
Okay.
And so we go there, we buy a big bag, and I cut them all in half and leave them in the freezer, and I just put them in a toaster oven. Canada is a beautiful country, but
summer?
or in the United States, it's beautiful, right? But Mexico is. I have nothing but positive things to say. If you get used to the small details, like the ones we mentioned earlier about the time frames and things like this, and the laid back the people have, it's a beautiful country to be. And I can speak from experience because I was in the German Navy and I traveled extensively. I've been to many, many countries. And so I have a way of comparing the different countries, from China to Singapore, Thailand I used to work, Indonesia I've been. This is beautiful here.
All right, so that was Matthias and Mabea and their house, their new home. Well, I guess newly renovated home. So thanks to them for sharing all of that with us. Really nice people, and I had a great time working on that video with them. So comment below, what did you think about that video? What did you maybe learn from watching that video and hearing Matthias's story? I say Matthias's story because I didn't really get to go into Mabea's story very much, but I'll tell you, we did talk off camera. She is originally from Veracruz, Mexico, and at an early age, her family moved to the Puerto Vallarta area. She works at a local church here in Bucerias when they're here, and yeah, just really nice people. And so once again, thanks to them for sharing all that with us. And if you are interested in moving to Mexico, I would highly recommend downloading the Mexico Relocation Guide. Daniela's been telling me lately, some people have been asking for services like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that here in Mexico? And you know, we're so busy with everything. It's like, let's just give it to the experts, which is the people over at Mexico Relocation Guide. So if you end up downloading that guide, let them know that moving to Mexi.co sent you, and then we get a little commission on that. And again, if you guys want, you can send me a little tip to my tip jar. It helps, you know, offset some of the expenses of making these videos for you. I enjoy making them for sure, but you know, there's a cost. A lot of energy goes into it. So if you guys could help me out, that would be great. You can also just hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. Every little bit helps, and we just really appreciate you guys. We love you. We love all of our subscribers. I think we have the best on the internet, to be honest. So with that said, thanks for watching the video. Till next time, adios.